All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And yeah, in this lesson, I wanted to deal with the new, or the executive order. Can't remember the exact, I think 7062, something like that. But basically, there's an executive order that I believe Biden already signed it. And according to that executive order, from what I was reading, basically it allows them to be able to start working on, or producing a U.S. Cbdc, okay, which they said that this goes into effect December 13th or so. Now, in the article that I was reading, it was basically going into how this is going to lead to digital slavery. This is going to lead to tyranny. It's going to lead to a complete deprivation of privacy and just a complete controlled system that you will not have the freedom or the ability to basically do what you want to do, because they're going to control everything. And at first, they're not, when they push it, it's not going to seem that way. But as time goes on and it gains more traction, that's the direction it'll start to head in. And by the time it becomes very apparent to people, it'll be too late. They would already be in it, and there will be no way of going back. So ultimately, I mean, that's how the transitions always work. You first introduce something, and then, you start to shift more and more to it, and then you phase out the old way, and the only thing left is the new way. And a lot of people are starting to wake up to this, and they're not okay with it. There's a lot of pushback when it comes to things like this that are some of them are borderline NWO agendas, and some of them are just full-blown NWO agendas. But now you have people that are starting to stand up and say, no, 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 no. We know what this is going to lead to. We know what you're trying to do with this, right? And we're not for it. As they call it, a digital dollar, which during the pandemic, we read about that. It was in one of the bills, all right, that they were trying to pass, and there was a section in there on the digital dollar, and I believe like a digital wallet or something like that. And it took a while, but now they're moving there. So at the end of the day, this isn't something that's new. That's the thing. That's why we can tell you with full confidence that this is going to happen, because this isn't something that's new. This isn't something that they're coming up with on the fly that they can then turn around and say, oh, I changed my mind. It's like, yeah, say, oh, I changed my mind, and we're not going to go with it this way. We're going to go with it the other way. That's not how it works. All right, shalom, shalom, Yahweh Bashem El Shai Barakatham to you all. All right, that's not how it works. So they're going to, they're gonna go according to plan, because this is a plan they've had in the workings for years. And you don't just get up because this is in essence, this is a worldwide domination plan. This is a worldwide takeover, and you don't just issue a worldwide takeover just like that. There's always prerequisites or conditions that need to be set, all right, in order for you to be able to enact certain plans. Certain conditions need to be met. So that's why for so long you have different events, different scenarios, different FFs, right? False, Fs that take place over the years, and each of them have a purpose. Why it happens, when it happens, how it conditions the people, all of these things, they keep that in mind, and they do it deliberately, because it's all going to lead to this one thing. And this is the big last step, right? Now, it's not by coincidence that they started pushing out the actual charagma you know, more and more, started talking about it more and more, putting it more into the forefront, putting it more into the light. And then they also have the CBDCs that he's talking about more and more, more and more, more and more. At some point, they're going to merge these two. Okay, the CBDCs. You know, I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna be something they're just gonna come right off the bat and say, boom, CBDC means you have to have this charagma in you. You know, this is digital currency, so it makes sense they could start with it being on your phone like regularly. But as the Motb, the charagma, gains more traction, and as CBDCs become more commonplace, remember that the goal is to put technology into the body, no more outside. And I believe it was the CEO of Nokia who said by 2030 there will be no more cell phones, right? No more, because that's like outside. They want it to be within you. So if you're using your cell phone to make purchases via a CBDC or whatever the case is, and they're telling you, well, we don't want you to have external devices. We want the devices to be within you. It's that Motb is gonna comprise all of it. Now, it's interesting that this executive order is like set for December, because here we are in August. We still have a few months to go, you know, which from what they were saying a couple of months back, they were talking about the food prices, you know, and the inflation, and you know, the battle or the wedge between inflation or recession. All right, and that's still going on. People think that just because gas prices started dropping, that was the end of it. No. Okay, that this is far from the end of it. The Fed is still stuck in between. Do we cause America, the US government, to go bankrupt, or do we allow inflation to turn into hyperinflation? Either way you go, if you leave interest rates the way they are, you're going to have a problem on your hands. If you raise interest rates, you're going to need to raise it enough to have an impact or a dent in inflation, and by doing so, you're causing recession risks and a very high chance of bankruptcy. So they're stuck in between, what they say, a rock and a hard place. And they're telling you that food prices are going to be more doubling. That farmers are telling you that, because they're telling you that what you're seeing now is not reflecting the accurate prices. So it doesn't look like things are going to be getting any better. So let's see how things look by the next month, the next 2 months, by December, you know, and maybe it'll make sense as to why they push it then, you know, based on whatever the economic outlook is. But anyway, Salakia, let me start off. I only have a few precepts here, but I want to go into this because, you know, it's very important. And this is why we're always talking about it, because this is the last step. But it's a very, very big step. The Motb is not a simple, no, it's not a simple prophecy. It's a big, big deal. Okay? So now this is the book of, let's see. Yep. This is the book of Micah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Right? It is in the power of their hand. Now, how did it become into the power of their hand? How did they get the power into their hand to be able to do all of these things? You know, they got the power in their hand via the precept I'm about to read right now. Okay, let's go to the book of, which this is a precept that we all, you know, are familiar with, but nevertheless, that doesn't take away from the importance of it. Right, so this is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. And it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Meaning their power, right? When you're given into someone's hand, that means that you are at their mercy. They have the authority and the power over you. So the earth, right? The control of the earth and all of that, that has been given into the power of the wicked, which, pursuant to Malachi 1 and 3, we know that the wicked is Esau, Edom. And right now, the focus is on their heads, their elites. Okay, so it says here, Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not, wherein who is he? So we know that they have power over the earth. and the Lord is with these elites in order to fulfill his plans. And when I say he's with them, I mean he's putting the thoughts into their minds, but he is also having the everything go according to their plan, all right, in order to fulfill that prophecy. Just like the Lord was with Alexander the Greek to conquer all those different lands, all right, to fulfill prophecy. Okay, but at the end of the day, he's only going to be with them but for so long. This plan, the Motb is going to go as far as the hour of temptation. It's going to go as far as, you know, being pushed worldwide, so that the prophecy of Revelation 13 and 15, 16, and 17 can be fulfilled, but also so that the prophecy in Revelation 3 and 10 can be fulfilled. Remember that Revelation 3 and 10 goes along with Revelation 13 and 15 and 16, because in Revelation 13, we're told that they're going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, you know, to receive that thing, but and it says that anybody that was not down to worship the beast, right, was going to be, or should be killed, not will be, but should be killed. And we know that it's not will be, because Revelation 3 and 10 tells you that in that time, right, in that time when they're doing the causing, right, the poeo, and when they're coming around enforcing the latter part of the verse that says that anybody that would not worship the image should be killed, in that time, that's when people are going to be tempted. You're going to be tempted through hardships, and you're going to be tempted by your life being on the line. But the Lord said he's going to keep his elect in that time. So they're only going to go as far as to, you know, push it worldwide and try to enforce it on the people. And that's not going to be just a straightforward thing. This is why they move with gradualism. This is why they move step by step, because they cannot just come one day and just forcefully try to impose it without a big enough crisis, or a big enough reason, or a gradual enough process. Because people right now are not trying to hear that. People right now are already pissed off. All right, they're not trying to hear yo, you know, first we took away your freedoms, we locked you down, we let you back out, we forced you to take a jump shot, and now we're telling you got to put this thing inside you. People are not trying to hear that. And these elites know that. They're not stupid. So this is how we know that in order for them to enforce this, they're going to need to do something major. They need to get people in a position where they can easily, you know, push this upon them. Because they know that people are going to resist. People are going to fight back. So it's going to be a very turbulent, tumultuous, chaotic time. Because some are going to comply, but then some are not. And it doesn't mean that just because somebody doesn't comply and says, I'm not going to take it, that doesn't mean they're of the elect. Because you're going to have individuals that are going to say, nah, I'm not with this. You know, you're going to have Edomites and people of other nations that are going to say, nah, I'm not doing this. But it doesn't mean that they're going to be delivered. Ultimately, you have to be of the elect. Okay? But this is another step closer. We know where this is leading. This is how we're able to measure the times diligently, because we know, look, the reason your GPS is able to tell you 15 minutes left, or you're 15 minutes away from this destination, and then the closer you get, it tells you what? Oh, 10 minutes remaining, right? Make this left, make this right, and then you'll be here. That's because your GPS knows where the end goal is. Your GPS knows where the destination is. So the closer you get to it, your GPS can tell you based on what's happening and where you are in relation to where you're going, how far you are and what's left, right? So the closer you get, oh, you only have 2 more stops left, make a right here, make a left here. Well, it's the same thing when dealing with these scriptures. We know the destination and we see the steps. So as they take more steps closer and closer and closer, we're able to measure the times and know that, yeah, there's a very, 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 very short time left. Because Like on your GPS, when you hit a certain road, there's only but so many other ways you can go before you hit your destination. Like literally, if your destination is on the right side and you're on a one-way street with only right turns and straight, literally there's only one of two ways you're gonna get to your destination, or really in this case only one way, which is make a right. There's you're not gonna go straight and get to your destination. You're not gonna make a U-turn. It's not gonna get you there. The only way to get to your destination from where you at is gonna be like make a right. So it's kind of like that now, where we see that, look, there's only one direction left to head in. Like they're so close, they've prepared everything that they have to, and they're so close to the destination, to the prophecy being fulfilled, that there's only one way left to go. And that's to come down with great wrath pursuant to Revelation 12:12. There's going to be deception, but eventually, like they have that saying, by consent or by conquest. So, like it reads in Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Like that conversation between Aaron Russo and I think it was Nick Rockefeller. Basically, he was telling him all the things they had planned. And he wasn't stressed about it. He wasn't sounding like, well, I hope that this is gonna. He's telling, this is what's gonna happen. This is how we're gonna do it. This is what we're gonna do. Right? You got this guy, Yuval Noah Harari, whatever his name is, right? He's coming about, and I mean, the pride that oozes out of these individuals' mouths, man. You know, they just tell you, no, like forget the God of the Bible. We're past that. He's old times. He's myth. He's mythology. You know, we on a different type of time now. As if they're gonna do something, you know, better than the Most High. How is the creation gonna be better than the Creator? Right? But nevertheless, they have that energy of, this is not a matter of if, this is a matter of when. We know how to do what we're gonna do. We know what we're gonna do, and we know when to do what we're gonna do. So moving on, because now with all this being said, you have people that, like, here's the difference between when you hear information like this from the so-called truther community, or from an article, or from, you know, these different alternative media sites. They'll tell you, yes, this is what's coming. Yes, they're bringing out a CBDC. This means totalitarian control. This means they can track every single transaction you make. That's their goal. And this is, you may think, well, but that's just transactions, but everything you do is a transaction. Somebody can tell the exact kind of life you live based on your transactions. They can tell what kind of foods you eat. They can tell how often you eat. They can tell where do you go? How do you get there? What are your interests? They know all of these things because they monitor your credit cards and debit cards. They monitor your receipts. They know what shop you go to. They know what you buy when you go to the shop. They know what water you like. They know what you don't like. All right? Because everything, in order to get what you like, and nine times out of 10, you have to go and buy it. It involves some transaction. You know, there's a certain restaurant you like to go to. Guess what? You're buying gas, you're paying for this, you're paying for that. When you get to the restaurant, there's transactions that are being made at the restaurant. And they can see that. Oh yeah, this person always goes here. He's a Tuesday lover. He goes there on Tuesday nights. All of these things are recorded. So with the Motb, they will know exactly where you are. They're coming, oh, it doesn't have GPS track. What? It doesn't have GPS. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, okay. So they're gonna track everything you do, how you do it, when you do it, what you're doing, how you're feeling while you're doing it. They're going to have access to all of that. So it's no wonder that they're beefing up the IRS and all of these different sides. The C people, right? The CD, you know, people just came out and said how they're basically having a what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like a house cleaning kind of thing, you know, like because of yada yada yada. You know, they just gave the question mark a whole bunch of power and authority, and they're getting ready to use it. All of these things are going to come together and come into play. So the scriptures are not They're not, it's not downplaying when it says there's going to be a time like never before. That's not an understatement. Anyway, with all this being said, with all these things they're trying to do, regardless, you know, it's gonna come to naught. Okay? Because once they push it and people take it and others don't and others resist, the Lord is gonna protect his elect. But the scriptures tell you that he's gonna shorten the days because it's gonna be so violent and chaotic out here. But these elites, their goal is get everybody, and those that don't want it, take them out, eliminate them. They don't want outliers. They don't want, you know, like little ones here and there. No, they just want everybody under their control. And that's where the scriptures say they're not going to get to that. Because there's a difference between them finishing eating, right? When they finish eating versus when they start to eat. Because before you eat, you have to prepare the meal. And that's what we see going on. They're preparing the meal. Them setting up the infrastructure, them pushing towards that digital structure is setting up the meal. And then when they start to issue it and they start to actually tag these people on a mass agenda, that's going to be the form of eating. But they're not going to be full because they're not going to accomplish all of it. The Lord is going to intervene. And that's where these truthers and these alternative sites, that's the part that they lack. They can tell you what's about to happen, and you can listen to us and we'll tell you what's about to happen as well. But the only difference is, yes, they tell you what's coming. Yes, they go into the details, but they don't give you the ultimate solution. They will end up giving you a carnal solution. Oh, buy gold. Oh, buy silver. Oh, leave the country. Oh, do this. But those things are not going to deliver you. Because, yes, you know that these things are coming, but the understanding of the times, they don't fully have that. There's only one way to make it out of the things that are coming. And that's to be exempted or delivered by the Heavenly Father, by Hashem Yahushai. That's how bad it's going to get. That's why it says in Daniel, the 12th chapter, that the Michael the prince had to come down and fight for the, you know, for the children of Israel, those that were written in the book, because it's going to be so bad. So that's divine intervention. That means that gold and silver and carnal means cannot save you. So you'll only get half of it. You'll get what's coming. You'll get the warning. But I mean, everybody can see that. But then the next question is, right, you start off with what's going on, but then after you find out what's going on, your next question is, well, now how do I survive? Like, how do I make this? What do I do? And that's where even they are gonna end up, you know, lacking in that sense. All right. Yep. This is the chariots of Israel 2, Shalom. Isaiah 65:11. It says, but ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Yeah, exactly. And ultimately what's going to happen as a result is that they're going to get caught up in this. You know, the people that should be worried the most are the ones that are out here, you know, living like Larry from SpongeBob. You know, living like Larry. You know, like everything is all sweet. No, everything is not all sweet. The scriptures talk about sudden destruction. This thing is far from over. It hasn't even started. It hasn't kicked in. Okay? The whole world is about to, like, was it Aloe Black? Who made that? The whole world sitting on a ticking bomb, right? So, the whole world is about to get turned upside down. What happened the past 2 years and earlier this year, that wasn't the turning yet. Okay, there's a great transitioning going on. It's happening. Okay, it's not like it happened and it stopped and then no. It's in the process. Okay, it's in the process. So now this is the book of Job, chapter 20, because like we mentioned, well, this is what they're gonna do, right? But there's people that will ask, like, okay, but these people are evil. The scriptures call them the wicked. What they're doing is not right. It's not lawful. It's not okay. This is a wicked agenda they're trying to push, and they want to kill you if you're not down with that agenda. So is the Most High just going to sit back and allow them to go ahead and do this? Like, why would he allow them to go ahead and do such things? And here it is, we are just, trying to live our lives, and we have to suffer for it. Well, the Most High is only going to allow it until the prophecies get fulfilled. Because the reason that these things are happening is because it's according to his plan. But also according to his plan is that he's going to intervene and stop them. But before that happens, there's a test, okay? The faith of those that are on the earth needs to be tested. So this is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? And we know that their quote-unquote triumphing, their moment of 15 minutes of fame is short. It's not going to last. The NWO is not going to succeed, and it's not going to become a successful thing where they get to go on and turn us on to digital slaves. That's not going to succeed. All right? According to prophecy, that's not going to succeed. So we have faith in that, and that's why we don't lose our minds. We don't bug out. So it says, verse 6, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Because they're going to go from this high level of having control over the whole planet and being able to enforce through pushing their narrative, through censoring people, through canceling people, through their executive orders, through all of these things, having the power that they have. They're going to go from that to being in a low state, eventually to the point where people are going to wonder, like, well, these people did all of this, where are they? In Isaiah, the 14th chapter, it tells you how people are going to narrowly look upon, all right, the nation of Esau, the Edomites, really starting with their elites. Narrowly, meaning they're going to look down on them and wonder how in the world did these people ever have this much control and power. Just like when the Lord comes back and he raises up his elect and delivers the elect of the nation of Israel, you're going to have people that are going to think in their mind, how in the world did these people who were brought here on cargo slave ships, right, who were enslaved, who were made, the filth of the earth, who were in such a low position, how, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon 5, how is he numbered among the children of God? But that's how the Lord sets it up. It tells you in Ezekiel 17, right? The Lord he's gonna bring down the high tree and bring up the low tree, because we have been low for so long. But the thing about it is, we weren't created to be low. When the scriptures say man was made to be immortal, that's referring to the Israelite man. And that's why in the kingdom, we're going to go back to that. We're going to be immortal. But we're not going to be just mere men. Psalms 82:6, I have said, ye are gods, right? But ye shall die like, and all of you are the children of the Most High, but ye shall fall like men, die like men, fall like one of the princes. Yeah, but that's because we were made to be gods, but we went off. We transgressed. So now that we're coming back and we're seeking the Heavenly Father and we're repenting, we're going to go back to that state. And this time the Lord is going to implement a permanent fix to where we'll never go off again. We'll never transgress again. So this is why we get excited when we see, talks about, these prophecies and these things coming to pass, because we know that this is a necessary step. The sooner this comes, the sooner this happens, the sooner we can get, to the next step. We can get to the reward. The sooner these people implement their plans, the sooner they can get taken down. And the sooner they get taken down, the sooner we get delivered and our lives get, changed for the better. So it's not like we support, like, we don't want, to get tagged, It's a very slave-like, thing that they want to do in a very wicked way. We're not for that. We're not saying that we're wicked and we're supporting wicked people because we just like wicked people. No, we're just saying, look, do what you have to do and do it quickly. So when we see them doing what they have to do, we get excited, not because we want the Motb, because we want the prophecy to come to pass so that we can get what comes after. Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose. We're not saying that because we just love hard times. Obviously, we know that it's going to be hard for even us as well, right? Famines and pestilences and all of that. Yeah, that's not a fun time to be in. We're not rooting for that because we think, oh, it's going to be this fun time. We're saying, well, guess what? It's going to happen regardless. All right? And we need it to happen so it can be done happening, and then the next step can come, and then we can go from there. So we're really hastening. We're hoping for these things to come to pass the sooner. Right? That's why we get excited. That's why we're always talking about these things. Okay? So going on, it says Job chapter 20, verse 8, it says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. And this is referring to the Edomites, okay? Because ultimately, what's going to happen is after they get taken down and they serve 1,000 years of captivity, the scriptures say that they're going to be taken off the planet. They're going to be exterminated. That's the prophecy in the book of Obadiah. That's the will of the Lord. Now, somebody might hear that and say, oh my gosh, that's harsh. But the Most High, that's the Most High's plans. You know? So it says, and I mean, if you think about it, like, what would be, you know, what would we be losing for that? These people have caused nothing but pain, suffering, mischief, and chaos on the earth. Look at since they came up into power. They're the ones trying to do what no other heathens have done. You know, all they think about is just whatever they want at it doesn't matter what your expense is, whether they have to kill babies, whether they have to kill you, kill your family, whatever it is, they don't care. They have to poison your water, they'll do it. They have to poison your air, they'll do it. They have to drop a bomb on you, even if they don't have to, they will do it. Okay? They will deliberately make you sick so that they can make money off of you when you go to the pharmacies. Yep. You know, they deliberately set up the systems in a way where you're gonna be highly likely to end up in the prison system so they can use you for cheap labor. Yep. You know, they consistently push a certain narrative in order to make you look like this, you know, this negative image. So no matter what you do, you can't escape that stigma. Yep. They do that. That's them. They don't push life. They push death. They don't push peace. They push hate. They do not push love. They don't push that. That's a facade. They are liars. They are deceivers. That's what they're good at. That's what they were made to do. So if we're gonna be in the kingdom in a state of peace and joy and righteousness, what purpose will we need the wicked there for? If you want to crash somebody's computer, you send a virus to it, right? You create a virus, throw it up on there, right? They download it and it messes up their computer. But if you don't, if there's no need for you don't want to crash anybody's computer, you don't want your computer to crash, why would you want to have any computer viruses in existence? You would want to eliminate that, right? Well, I don't have a need for it. Well, these people are likened onto the virus of the earth because they infect everything and everywhere they go. You go look at the ocean. You doing war games, testing weapons and you know, oil spills and all of these things, killing the life on the earth. So why would we cry or why would we be sad or mourn for you when the prophecy says that you're going to be exterminated? Why? Your works have done nothing to merit or warrant any pity from anybody. Because you don't have pity, you don't have mercy on anybody. These guys are wicked. That's why the scriptures call them the wicked. So continuing, Job 20, verse 9, it says, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more. Neither shall his place any more behold him. It's like it. Neither shall his place any more behold him. Yeah, and ultimately, it's interesting how in their minds they don't believe that. In their minds, they think they're just gonna be there. They're gonna transcend from humans to biohumans, the internet of bodies, and basically have access to digital immortality and just continue on forever, just be these new powers. You're gonna hijack the Most High's creation and his world and then block him out of it. So they think they're so smart, but when you really look at it, I mean, damn, that's a very low IQ thought process to even think that you can transcend past your creator. All right. Verse 10, it says, his children shall seek to please the poor, which the poor are Israelites, and that's what they're doing. It says, and his hands shall restore their goods. Yeah, because that's why they'll come to you, try to advocate for you, and try to, give you or claim to give you what do you call that, compensation and all of these things. That ain't, nobody wants that, man. We don't want that. That's not gonna justify anything. Okay. Verse 11, it says, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. And your bones are pretty much a part of your structure, meaning like at your foundational level, right? Those are where your bones are at. And everything else pretty much grows on top of that. So deep down inside, they're filled with the sin of their youth. Okay? From their creation, from their startup, come the wickedness and the sin that they have within them. It tells you in the book of Psalms. Let me see if I can find that. What's that? Psalms 50. I think either 58 and 3. Yep, 58. Let me see. Yeah, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 53, verse 8. It says, Salakia 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Right? So it tells you that in Habakkuk that the spirit that is in them is not upright. Okay? They have a perverse and crooked spirit within them. So that, like it says here, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, and that's why the scriptures tell you never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So no matter what you do, no matter what he tells you, no matter how he behaves himself around you, at the end of the day, he's gonna go back to his wickedness, because by nature that is how he is. Verse 12, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. So he will hide it when he needs you to trust him, but he's never going to forsake it. He's never going to turn to become good. He'll just act like he's not bad. All right, that's what they do. They never actually become good. They just act like they're not bad. They hide their true nature. Okay, but they never change. So it goes on, verse 14, it says, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asps within him. And I believe that gall is like in this sense, like the poison of asp. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's like a kind of serpent, like an asp. But it says here, and pretty much all the things that they've done and so-called accomplished is gonna be turned around. All right. That scriptures tell you in Isaiah 47 that an evil is going to rise up against them, and they shall not know from whence it riseth. So all this plan, the plan for the Cbdc and the Motb and all of that, that is prophecy. And according to prophecy, they're going to be able to bring it out, and they're going to be able to push it, and it's going to be there for a period of time until they ramp it up to where they make it mandatory. Okay, because prophecy still needs to be fulfilled. But once those steps are fulfilled, they make it mandatory. They come after you if you don't want to partake of it. Simultaneously, the society is going to be getting more and more dystopian. You can only enact these kinds of draconian laws in a dystopian society. And in order to go from now to that full-on dystopian society, they're going to need to do a lot of crises, all right, that are going to transition the state of the world into one that is perfect for them to enact these different things they want to do. So continuing on, it says here, verse 15, he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Yeah, because all the riches and the money they had, it wasn't through just means. It was through theft. It was through deception. It was through killing. Okay, They set up the Titanic so that they could eliminate all the other rich families that were in competition with them. That's why I believe JP Morgan, last minute, decided not to get on the Titanic, for whatever reason it was. And however the Titanic crashed, it was deliberate. It could have been avoided. But you had rich families like the Astor family, and a few others that would have been in opposition to them. With them wanting to enact the Federal Reserve and push ahead with their plans. So they had to start doing some elimination in order to get that room to do what they want to do. So yes, they're rich, but is it really their money? No. Did they get it by righteous ways? No. But let you try to do some money laundering or some sneaky stuff, and they have laws right on your ass. These people have committed the biggest level of fraud, all right? But yet they have laws against fraud, and they'll arrest you. They'll come for you. Crazy. So it says, verse 16, he shall suck the poison of asps, the viper's tongue shall slay him. And this is just metaphorically talking pretty much how it's not going to go well with them. For whatever plans that they are setting up, it's not going to go well with them. They're not going to succeed. They're going to end up having a negative outcome. As it goes on to read, it says in verse 17, he shall not see the rivers, the floods, and the brooks of honey and butter. And the rivers, the floods, and the brooks of honey and butter just represent, in their minds, the completion of their agenda. Like for us, it would be the kingdom. Hold on a second. What y'all think you're doing? Hold on one second. Let me just make sure that these people are not trying to do things to put my parking spots at risk. I don't play that. But so hold on. Oh, that's what we're doing? Okay. All right. Cool. That's right. Yeah, slack about that. You just got to make sure. Just make sure everything is all right. Okay, all right, cool. So going back in Job chapter 20, verse right, the honey, the brook, all of that. So that's the fulfillment and the accomplishment that they want to reach, but they're not going to see that. Okay, they're not going to get to that point because the Most High is going to stop them. It says here, verse 18, that which he labored for, right, he shall restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. So everything that they put in work, they planned, they did whatever they had to do to achieve. They're gonna have to cough that all back up, because when Yahushua gets here, these people are not gonna get even a millisecond more of control of whatever they have. Everything that they have, they're going to lose. The power, the money, the authority, all of it, they're gonna lose it, and they're gonna go down under the ground. It says here, verse 19, because he hath oppressed and hath dealt, he hath oppressed and hath Slakia, where am I? Okay, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not, and surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. And now here's the key part in verse 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Straits meaning difficulty, difficult times. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And I believe when you go into the word wicked, I think it's I forgot the word, imal or something along those lines in the Hebrew, but it's basically going into not like wicked individuals, but like referring to these other nations and Jake. Okay, the laborers. Okay, so the other nations and Jake, because the Lord is gonna use these other nations and these events that are gonna take place to come upon these devils and ultimately stop their agenda from completion. Because how is everything going to be destroyed? Ultimately through the World War III that's going to kick off, right? The scriptures speak a lot about that, about the fire, the destruction that's going to come by fire. Well, the main portion of that fire is going to come when this third world war kicks off and it goes nuclear, because that's also a part of prophecy. So you see how all these prophecies line up and they all have a purpose. Going on, it says here, verse 23, when he is about to fill his belly, see that? When he is about, so as it says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. So he's going to start eating, but when he is about to fill his belly, because when you eat, it's a process. You don't just grab the food and just eat in one move and then you're done. You're eating. It's a verb. You're doing something. And when you're doing something, that means there's a start and there's an end. So as it says, when he is about to fill his belly, when he is about to complete, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it on him while he is eating. Meaning that while they're in the process of enacting their agenda to try and tag everybody and try and get everybody to be connected to the IOB, the Internet of Bodies, and all of these things, the Most High is going to intervene and destroy him, and is going to rain the fury, cast the fury of his wrath upon him, which is going to be mainly by the nuclear missiles that are going to hit this place and destroy it and cast down this system. And then the Lord is going to complete it when he comes back with the angels and the chariots, because they're also going to be shooting fire on this place. So we know that this is why we don't lose our minds, because we know they're only going to get so far. They can bring it, but they're only going to get so far. So we don't have to worry about our kids and grandkids having to deal with this, because the Lord is going to have them bring it to fulfill prophecy, but he is going to protect and keep his elect and allow his elect to hold on long enough to where he comes back and he stops it all, and he just, completely breaks it all down, and he brings in the proper righteousness upon the earth. So just trust in the Lord and just walk on the path that he gives you, because every one of us has a role to play. So going on, it says here, verse 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Right, which is the missiles. Okay, it says here, it is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall, terrors are upon him. Okay, and that's what's going to happen. And the scriptures tell you that the powers shall stand in great fear, because the Lord, you see, is going to go from 0 to 100 real quick. At one point, they're going to think they're in control, and then at another point, it's just going to completely leave their hands. And the Most High is going to show them why he is called the Most High. Okay, why there is none higher and why there is none else but Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you haven't heard already, just look it up. The executive order for the Cbdcs. Pay attention to that. Because I remember back in 2019, I believe even 2018 or so, but really 2019 I saw it. They were talking about these things, Cbdcs. And all these years later, now all these different countries and nations are starting to adopt them and incorporate them and actually start using them, So those Cbdcs will be linked to that Motb, and they will merge it. So we're at that time, man. We're pretty much at the point where these prophecies are about to be fulfilled, and we just got to stay in the spirit. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're about to witness some real things, but we need the Spirit of the Lord to hold us through, So with that, Lord willing, you are edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodesh. Until next time, Shalom.